Mr. Speaker, first, again, I want to thank my colleague from Cumberland-Colchester for bringing this motion forward and for raising this important issue about how we support veterans. This motion proposes, Mr. Speaker, a study on how unused federal lands and buildings could support veterans, including housing and community services. We support studying these ideas, but let's be clear, Mr. Speaker, this is a non-binding motion. It asks for only a study. Veterans don't live in studies. Many of them are facing insecurity now, and we already know enough to act. If this motion passes and the Government Operations Committee undertakes this study, it must hear directly from veterans about their lived experiences, including the Veterans Ombudsman, Colonel retired Nishika Jardin, who's been working tirelessly to advance the concerns and urgent needs of veterans. This includes mental health supports for veterans and their families, suicide prevention, rehabilitation, and other critical services in addition to housing. Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank the legions in my riding across Vancouver Island and this country and the local nonprofit housing organizations that support people experiencing homelessness, including, Mr. Speaker, many that support military and RCMP veterans and their families. In the Comox Valley alone, 16 veterans have been identified as homeless, representing about 12% of the total homeless population. This should never happen in a country like Canada, Mr. Speaker, and the Government of Canada pledges a sacred obligation to support veterans and their families. Mr. Speaker, this is to ensure care, compassion, and respect, and ensure that this is often, as you know, Mr. Speaker, referred to as a social covenant. This isn't delivering that, Mr. Speaker. We can see what works, and I think about in Esquimalt, the Veterans House, formerly known as Cochran House, that's been helping veterans transition out of homelessness with safe, stable, and on-site supports. And I want to acknowledge Angus Stanfield from the Royal Canadian Legion for getting that off the ground. The model works. It provides dignity, stability, and community, but it totally relies on donations and volunteers. That's why it's not scaled up, Mr. Speaker. So certainly we need to be able to implement and use government lands to ensure that all veterans have a safe place to live. We can't be relying on nonprofits to do what the government clearly has a responsibility to do. At a time of housing crisis, it should be used to house people, these lands, especially those most affected, including their veterans and families, and of course Indigenous peoples. No veteran and no veteran's family should ever be without a home in this country. And Mr. Speaker, we've heard directly from veterans about what this failure looks like in practice. I think about in the Comox Valley, retired Corporal William Webb, who served in the 1st Regiment of the Royal Canadian Horse Artillery. He told a parliamentary committee in 2019 that after nearly 20 years of service, he cycled through 9 case managers and ultimately became homeless. He said, quote, "Case managers weren't aware of what to do when a veteran like me is soon to be homeless and then becomes homeless." Mr. Speaker, if the system doesn't know what to do when a veteran becomes homeless, then the system isn't working. And we need to be honest about how we got here. In 1992, the government pulled out of housing, Mr. Speaker. We know that this can be fixed, Mr. Speaker. There's plenty of opportunities, but let's face it, the opportunity is now. Keep public land public, build housing, fund it properly, and prioritize veterans and their families. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.